Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Thunder Bay Resort, a destination for all seasons with special events and packages. Thunder Bay Resort in Hillman. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Planning your special day? Canyons Resort on beautiful Sage Lake can make it happen. Enjoy a beachfront wedding. Everything in one location. Food, beverage, lodging, and entertainment. Canyons handles everything from floral arrangements to the wedding cake. Call now to reserve your special day at Canyons. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. On this week's Michigan Magazine, it's not your typical car cruise or car show. If you're interested in the unusual and unique, you'll want to take in Northern Michigan's first ever Hearse Cruise set for this Memorial Day weekend. We've got the story from the organizer, Jeff Morey of Vanderbilt, Michigan, who tells us the cruise begins in Gaylord and winds up with an escort across the mighty Big Mac Bridge into St. Ignace, with many car cruise shows along the way. But first, to stop in Acme, Michigan to visit with some world-class leaded glass artists at the Stained Glass Cabinet Company near Traverse City. Plus, today's phrase of the day, giving everyone a chance to win big in our 25th anniversary vacation sweepstakes. Stay tuned, it's all coming up on this week's Michigan Magazine.
Program support provided by Thunder Bay Resort, where sleigh bells echo through dense hardwood forests. Guests can experience a search for the majestic and elusive elk viewed from horse-drawn sleighs. Then return to a welcomed fire, gourmet dinner, and tales of the day shared over a glass of wine from nearby Stony Acres Winery. USA Today calls the sleigh ride at Thunder Bay Resort one of 10 great places to ride into a Currier and Ives. Located in Hillman on Michigan's Sunrise Side.
Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent Traffic Stop Diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Surrounded by talent besides their own, these two men, Richard Bruning and Scott Johnson, spearhead the Acme, Michigan company known as the Stained Glass Cabinet Company. On an earlier edition of Michigan Magazine, we told you about the early days of this company and its formation, previewing some of their signature items, such as the pressed wildflowers and beveled glass lamps and coffee tables, along with the quality handcrafted Michigan redwood cabinetry. On this edition, we learn how some of these works of art are produced, from the Michigan wildflower pieces to stained glass cutting and glass etching. The operation and showroom is housed in a beautiful Michigan log home just off M72 on the eastern boundaries of Acme, just outside of Traverse City. The processes we learned about this day are no secret, but they are the work of true artisans and simply can't be easily replicated. There's also a sense of joy in merely watching the artists at work, which is welcomed and encouraged. 2 of our school groups regularly make arrangements for demonstrations here at the studio showroom or at various group meeting places. After visiting with Scott and Richard, we were introduced to another of the artists involved, Ann Henry.
Ann is our glass studio manager, and also does a lot of our flower projects, and a lot of designing, a lot of sales.
Well, how do you guys get to know each other? I mean, network like this. I mean, to find a glass artist and woodworkers all together. And
everybody has kind of come to us through a different path.
Yeah. Really?
Through word of mouth. Kathy, another one of our key employees, was a customer.
Oh, really?
One day mentioned, if you ever need an employee, I'd love to work here. Well, we set her name aside, and then when the time came, we gave her a call.
Oh my goodness!
So everybody's just come down a different path to get here.
Oh, now are you all from the northwest part of the state, or do you come from different areas of the state?
I think I'm the only actual native of Traverse.
Oh, really? So you were imports more or less.
I grew up outside of Lansing, in Williamston, but I came up here to go to college, and I'm still here. So I'm almost a local.
Almost a local.
And I escaped from East Detroit.
There you go.
Yeah.
What a place to escape to. What is neat is that you love what you're doing. And what are we going to be doing here today to show us some of the parts that, the intricate parts, what kind of trade secrets are they, or no, or just...
Nah.
We're not going to tell you the secrets, but we'll give you some of the basics.
All right, what do we got here?
Okay, we grow and pick and press all the flowers ourselves.
Have a seat, Ann.
And all of us have gardens, but Richard's wife does most of the growing and picking. And we've got, he's got a couple of neighbor girls that actually have some cherry trees in their backyard that they don't maintain, and they allow us to pick the blossoms, and we picked 10,000 blossoms this past year.
And I understand that that's one of the trademarks.
Yeah, it really is. We go and we press them in presses, like right down below Richard there.
Okay.
And we have, you know, all kinds of different paper in between there, and they sit for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And then after they come out of the presses, we'll add preservative and floral color, whether it be just to maintain the color or to add color to match wallpaper and whatnot. And then we take the glass, and we have a flat piece of glass here. It's just a clear single strength glass, about 1/8 inch thick. And we start by laying, you know, baby's breath and ferns, you know, kind of a filler. It's kind of the glue that holds everything together. And then we'll start adding all kinds of different petals. You know, these are little lupines and geraniums and larkspurs. And then, of course, the cherry blossom right here.
Okay.
And we put 1 cherry blossom in everything we do, but there's a couple of things that get a cherry blossom in every bevel. We have some things that we use, you know, with the native Queen Anne's lace, that we add a single cherry blossom to everything we do there. And then we go and we seal it. We put these little tabs on to hold everything together so it doesn't slide around. And then we use this copper tape here. It's pure copper, and it has an adhesive, just like, you know, Scotch tape or masking tape. And we spin the bevel all the way around, and we put this layer of copper on, and then the key is to smooth it down as, you know, as smooth as possible, because it seals it. And then that way it's like a vacuum. And then when we go to the next step that Scott's going to show you, it actually heats that up and, you know, prevents any moisture from getting into it.
It gives you the impression that it's actually part of the glass.
Yes. A lot of people will say, did you pour that into the glass? They don't realize they're real flowers because it's so thin.
Yeah, they are. And for all practical purposes, they're pretty fresh flowers. I mean, the year before they were probably growing somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it exactly.
And look at the concept and the wonderful color that you've incorporated in these too. Have you had any art background professionally, or what?
Absolutely. I went to Northwestern Michigan College for 3 years. Computer programming and fine art. That's what I majored in, and I use both of it today because we do a lot of the patterns and whatnot on the computer as well.
Right.
Like I was saying about the flowers, we match everything up, and we'll add flowers to match the glass, and Scott's going to show you a little bit about that right now.
There we go. Okay. Now, here, Scott, is where it comes together.
This is where it really comes together. The art of stained glass, the techniques of construction really haven't changed much in 100 and some odd years. It's not mechanized. We can't feed it into a machine. Everything is done with hand tools, one piece at a time. The glass cutter, although it may look a little more high-tech than it used to, essentially there's a carbide steel wheel on the end of the cutter that doesn't feel sharp, but when I roll it across the glass with enough pressure, essentially I'm putting a wound on the top of the glass, and like that. I put a wound on the glass, and then I'm going to bend the glass away from that wound, and it's going to crack. And hopefully the crack is going to follow that wound that I just made in the glass. Like that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Or we can say, put a little bit of curve to it. Use one of our tools. This is a special pair of pliers made for breaking glass, and do the same thing. And that crack follows that wound that I put on the surface of the glass.
That's the properties of glass like that.
Absolutely. And then the type of stained glass construction we do is called copper foil, and it was really, essentially the way that Tiffany used to do his stuff, and that this copper foil is wrapped around the edges of each piece of the glass, and we would just go all the way around. I won't take the time to do it, but we'd go all the way around each piece, crimp it down, similar to what Ian was showing on the flower bevels, and then take a fid, which is basically a wood stick, but when you do stained glass with it, it's called a fid. Yeah. And take that fid and get that foil down real smooth. And after you do that, you have a piece that looks like that, where all the pieces have been cut. This was actually then, it was also beveled. It's now been foiled and has the foil all around it, and it's ready to solder.
It looks so easy, doesn't it? But that's a sign of a true artisan, making things look easy and so beautiful. Another part of the business here in Acme not only has a heritage-filled past, but also a part of the actual history is utilized at the studio. It's Richard's passion, stone wheel engraving.
Back in the late 1800s, 1887, this machine was in a small factory down in Fostoria, Ohio, Fostoria Glass. This machine was part of a 40-foot line shaft. 10 engravers worked off that line shaft. There's a big pulley, wooden pulley up there that's belt-driven. In this picture, that pulley is one of these.
One of those pulleys. This is the actual shot.
I took this picture out of the Fostoria book.
Oh my.
This was taken in 1910. I was fortunate enough to apprentice for 5 summers with Al Tavernier. Al is one of the few master engravers left that does stone wheel engraving. He lives in Cadillac during the summer and Florida in the winter, and every year he comes and checks up on me. But this machine was his grandfather's machine that he learned on. All these stones that you see here, these stones are made out of carborundum. Carborundum is second hardest to diamond. If I were to take this stone and cut glass on it for about 100 years, that's how big it would be. That's how hard these things are. I'm 4th generation cutting glass on these stones. I've been cutting on these little guys for about 14 years now, and they're still the same size. They don't move. But what I do is I shape them all. Every one of these has a different shape on it that does a different cut on the glass.
And those shapes, when mastered by an artist like Richard, can result in keepsakes and beauty that will last forever, heirlooms for generations to come. What a treat to discover the Stained Glass Cabinet Company of Acme, Michigan, a must-stop while visiting the wonders of northwestern Lower Michigan. Beauty supplied not only by Mother Nature, but by the artisans that absorb the inspiration in these surroundings. A big thanks to the Stained Glass Cabinet Company of Acme, Michigan, for sharing their world with Michigan Magazine. Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by the Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery. Remembering good times and great food, Frank and Lisa invite you to Tin Lizzie's in Mile for a blast back to the 50s and 60s when food was made from scratch, including home-ground Angus burgers. A full menu of great food and good memories await you at the new Tin Lizzie's of Mile. We had a great day this past Tuesday, April 29th, as we sat down and visited with Jeff Morey of Vanderbilt, Michigan. Jeff's coordinating a most unique car show of classic hearses come Memorial Weekend that'll start in Gaylord and end with a crossing at the Big Mac Bridge and a final stop in St. Ignace. We met up with Jeff at Dawson and Stevens Classic Diner in downtown Grayling, which is now one of our favorite stops. We'll talk about that later. We'll be bringing you our interview with Jeff as he fills us in on the upcoming event, the big Hearse Cruise. Jeff even gave us a ride in his prized personal hearse named Spirit, a real head-turner.
I'm really not sure what to expect. I'm kind of excited, and I'm hoping there's really a nice turnout. And like I say, everybody that I've talked to, we've been putting posters up, everybody's excited about it. So I'm hoping there's going to be a real nice group of folks that come out. So
It's the first of its kind in this area, northern Michigan, so it should be a interesting turnout. People are going to come out for the curiosity of it and the love of the hearse, and maybe take it in, and if they have a hearse that they've been restoring, you're invited to come on out. Any more available spots this year, or how about next year? What's the situation there?
Actually, we're accepting registration right up to the day of, so as many as we can get out there, the better. And it's meant to be a family event. You know, we want to see the young kids out there because, like I said, there's going to be some guys out there with their Halloween decorations and costumes, and you know, you're going to, again, it's for everybody, you know, and that's what we're aiming for. It's interesting the way it came about. Just a group of friends were talking about the cruises and stuff that were happening, and 90% of them happen around downstate. There's nothing really happens in northern Michigan. So wanted to have something that would bring some of that fun up here. I get the question a lot about why I've got a hearse and why I decided to go that route. And I've actually wanted one for about 15, 20 years. And what it ended up being was I wanted a car I could take to a car show. And you see car shows all the time, car cruises, and you see the same Corvettes, the same 57 Chevys, you see the same Fords and the Thunderbirds, and the, you know, but they're all, you know, as many as you see out there, they're all the same. You don't ever see anything that's really original. And I figured if I wanted to make a scene, be seen. So I decided, out of all the cars that were out there, I liked the looks of the hearse, and to me, it's got a little bit of a ambiance about it, and it gets a lot of different reactions. But all it is a big station wagon. You know, I'm in the process right now of tearing mine, the back end of mine apart, so I can turn it into a limousine style feel. So it's a lot of fun. It's amazing what you can do with these cars.
Tell us a little bit about the actual cruise. What's it going to be? How's it going to be run?
The intention this year is we're going to have a small car show from about 6 to 10 o'clock Friday the 23rd, May 23rd. And we are going to be having we're going to have a blessing of the hearse. We're going to have a DJ, a local DJ out of the Grayling area is going to come out and host our event. And then the 24th, we're going to actually do a cruise where we basically have little car shows, mini car shows, as we travel from the Gaylord area up to St. Ignace is our final destination. Stopping in Indian River, Sheboygan, Mackinac City, and again, final destination St. Ignace. We're going to be doing a parade across the Mackinac Bridge and also a parade through St. Ignace. So, and the response we've gotten has been phenomenal. Future of it, we're waiting to see how this one goes, but what I see is a final destination of sorts is to have a car show every year in the Gaylord area, but then the cruise actually cruising to different locations throughout Michigan. This year being north, thinking maybe next year going towards the west, and maybe the following year go to the east. You know, it's nothing set in stone right now. You know, if there's certain communities that want to be part, feel free to get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to put them on the list. You know, it makes it a whole lot easier when people are looking for me versus me looking for them. So, and the intention is not to make money on the event. I've had that question asked a few times. A lot of this stuff is actually coming out of my pocket this year. And if it gets to a point where we're actually coming out with money ahead, my intention is to donate it to a local charity of one form or another. I don't want to make money on the event. The event is meant to be fun for the local drivers, and you know, to promote the love we have of these very unique vehicles.
So there you go. For more information or to register for the Northern Michigan Hearse Cruise, contact Jeff Morey at area code 989-390-1133 or by email. We thank Jeff for taking time out to tell us of the cruise, the first one for Northern Michigan. And of course, a big thanks to Dawson and Stevens Classic Diner for the great hospitality and delicious milkshakes while we visited with Jeff. Don't forget, if you'd like to see more of our interview with Jeff Morey, go to our website, www.michiganmagazinetv.webs.com, and click on the Live and Behind the Scenes button, an exclusive feature from Michigan Magazine. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of Northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. Rose City Drug, just south of the Rose City city limits at 2640 North M33, featuring a state-of-the-art, completely automated and extremely accurate computer-filled prescription process.
Here at Rose City Drug, we're a family-owned and operated for over 20 years. We offer fast and friendly service, and we always take the extra step to make sure your needs are fulfilled.
Thanks for stopping by. Time to once again hit those Michigan back roads, but not before we give you this week's phrase of the day. It is off the grid. And that's exactly what Log Haven B&B in Ogama County is. And they're one of our vacation giveaways. You know what to do. Send the phrase to us at iWatchMichiganMagazine at gmail.com or to Michigan Magazine Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 424, West Branch, Michigan 48661. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you here next week for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Thunder Bay Resort, a destination for all seasons with special events and packages. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. Borch Healthcare of Rose City and West Branch, skilled nursing and rehabilitation facilities in beautiful northern Michigan. The Rose City facility is a leader in dementia care, specializing in the treatment and care for those with Alzheimer's. For more information or to schedule a tour, call us now. Announcing the Michigan Paddle Sports Directory, your one-stop internet connection. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, it's now possible to explore Michigan's extensive waterways like never before. Michigan Paddle Sports Directory is a comprehensive directory of canoe and kayak rentals and liveries throughout the entire state of Michigan. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, you'll find a great paddling route, outfitter, store, school, rental shop, or tour guide. Michigan's great waterways are waiting for you. Make it an adventure worth remembering by first visiting MichiganPaddlesports.com.